now what I'm hearing you say is her two different things is, Melba, she's telling you she's going to do one thing, but then she comes to the meeting and says and does something different. Is that
No,
correct?
I'm not. No, absolutely not. She has never talked to me at all. She has presented to all of us that they're going to keep doing things the wrong way. Meanwhile, we know that you have made the expectations clear from the state's perspective. And when I ask her, as I have recently, about the meetings, just that one piece, what she says is that she's still got an issue, and so that's not changing. On the meetings piece, there have again, I have not. I'm not. Here's the thing, and for months now, we have not been disruptive. We have not been making these demands. We have been sitting and waiting and patiently awaiting some kinds of changes or some kind of delivery from them, because they have made promises in the past that they are going to release a list or that they're going to address our questions, and they haven't. And we're still waiting. Now, in that time, you've gotten involved and you told them what is the state expectation, which is exactly what we're asking for. And we're not asking for anything more than what you all have made it clear is the expectation. And we know that. So it's not like there's like half the committee on the side of private meetings and no membership list and half the committee on the other way. No, there is a strong majority of people who understand our current committee is not operating the way it should, and there are a few people that are managing that. And those people are Matessa and Lowell Greenbaum and Jordan Johnson and Chris Johnson. So we know the specific people who are managing the expectations that we understand are not do not fly with the charter and bylaws or with what you have said. And in this time, we've just been waiting for them to deliver on some change, and they haven't. Which is why our agenda still says no recording. Which is why the meetings are still, until they say otherwise, private, and we don't even know who is really on the bylaws committee. And the piece on the membership list now, what we've gotten back, even though Matessa said it was going to be released in sometime in the summer, June or July, now they're saying, as of the last executive meeting, it's not going to be released until September. And guess what else is going to happen in September? You already know. The same time they're going to have those elections. So it all looks. That's why I bring up optics, because it all looks just like it looks, and it looks like these few people that are in charge are the ones keeping information away from folks, so that we don't even know who is a member of what district, and whether our committees within the county have vacancies or not, and it's impossible to do business. So
let me say this, Joey. Maybe this will help. Let me maybe not try to get us to communicate on the same page. Let me just make sure I communicate and you're understanding what I'm saying. No worries. I'm on it. And when I tell you I'm on it,
no, that hold on. That, first of all, that was not my issue, that it was not advertised. That was just a matter of fact. We understood that they were going to keep operating like that. The problem was, once I was there, it was she stood firm on the idea that it was going to remain.
Stay with me, Joe. I'm not saying whether it was your problem, your focus, or you're not your focus. I get all that. So let me finish, and I'm going to come around to every concern that we talked about that you had a concern about.
But you just framed it incorrectly. That's not what happened.
Meeting should have been advertised. Meeting was not advertised. I'm on that. And I know there were other issues. I'm going to get to those issues. So again, I'm on that part of it. Again, where you're talking about where things can be recorded or not recorded, if you want to go into that specific, then yes, again, having that conversation with Matessa, you can put that on your agenda all you want to, but do they have do you have the right to record? Not so much. But can you record? Yes. If you are at a point where you can write things down, then by all means, write it down. If you want to record, yes, you can record. Now, and I think you and I already had this conversation, if it gets to a point where you are recording so that you can create some type of insight amongst the group, then at that point, they can vote with evidence to say, hey, this is why he does not need to record in meetings. As long as that's not happening, then by all means, allow him to record. Allow them to record. What difference does it make? So, again, that has been addressed. Matessa, according to her, no, if they're recording, I'm not going to say anything. Number 2. Number 3, where you're saying that you're not going to get a list until September, when I tell you I am on Matessa and she has assured me that again, and she's told me why she hasn't. And do I believe her? Yes. Regardless of what you say, yes, I believe her. So again, she said that they will be produced in July. Do I believe her? Yes. That she is like, Matessa, why would you release why would you release a list on the day of elections? And she's like, no, what sense does that make? It does not make any sense. But again, are you planning to do that? No. I will have it out well ahead of any elections that we plan. I will make sure that elections are advertised on that. So again, I understand what your concerns are. Am I addressing your concerns? Yes. Is it going to happen overnight? No. Because again, if I tell somebody that this is how things are supposed to be done, I'm going to go in assuming that that's how you're going to do it until I see or hear otherwise. Once I see or hear otherwise, as I said to Matessa today, now I got to step it up a notch. And I hate to be that person, but it is what it is because at this.
Well, that's the thing, Melva. You wouldn't know unless I called you, though. They have not delivered on multiple items that you asked for, and that's why we're having this conversation. I don't understand why you're getting frustrated with me when I'm just reporting what has failed to happen yet. I'm being patient along with many other people. In fact, there are people who would not run this conversation very nicely with you at all whatsoever. And I'm trying to mediate these groups. You got to understand, like, I'm not the ringleader. I'm the guy trying to keep peace between folks who just want the thing to work. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and we can get it to work, but you have to understand, I have to work with an executive committee.
Melva, I do understand that. I don't understand why you think I don't understand that. Do you just not want me to call you anymore? Are you just bothered by me at this point? Because what I think I'm doing is honest reporting.
As if DPG is not going to do anything, and maybe because you're...
That's our fear. That is our honest fear. That is our honest to goodness fear. We have not seen you. That is the problem. We have been made promises by you and Sarah, and Bill now is saying he hasn't heard about any of this stuff, which is baffling to us because we know we've sent him information on this. So these are the facts. We can't argue against the facts. The facts are the facts. And honestly, I think I'm being very, 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 very patient. I think we all are at this point, being very patient with the state. We want to work with you. We want you to be able to work with them. We want the executive committee to work with us.
Yeah, because whether y'all recognize it or not, you guys voted them in. We didn't.
No, we did not vote them in. That goes back to last year and the problems that we had last year that you and the state and none of them ever addressed. We're here now because, again, things were passed up on at critical moments. And we're about to have another moment come up in September, or I guess July now is when she's telling you she's promised you this membership list.
If you guys didn't vote them in, so you have to remind me of that. How did they get there if they were not voted in?
We didn't have straight up elections. We didn't advertise the election. We didn't put up all the posts that needed to be. We didn't. The nominating committee selection was private. People were kicked out of that. People wanted to become members in time, and they were not allowed to. Yeah, and then when we had the election, they let people vote who should not have been able to vote, and they took people off the list who should have been on the list. Those are all things that I included in my first complaint. No one addressed them, and we're here now. So, I mean, yes, we can talk about they're in those positions, and that's fine. We'll take what we can get. If we got to work with these folks now, that's fine. But the problem is, what they are doing is specifically motivated by the idea that they are in the minority, and they need to hold on to enough of a majority or enough of them in power so that they can't be kicked out, because there are a lot of folks in the committee now, over half, that are not happy with their leadership, and we're not happy with the state either for not doing what it is the state could be doing to help correct this.
I heard you that they're in the minority. They do not want to be kicked out. What was after that?
What they're doing is deliberately ensuring that our numbers may dwindle and theirs may be secure, because there are folks in the majority, or I should say there are newer folks, or there are folks that have come in since those elections that understand this organization is not being run efficiently, effectively, or even to its own bylaws, to the standards that are set by the state and by what our county deserves. So people are unhappy with the committee. And I understand you're doing what you can, and I'm glad for it. I'm glad I've gotten any response, and you are it. I really am. You gotta understand that. I guess I just don't understand why you guys are getting frustrated with me or us when it's us who are actually bringing you this information. If you didn't have this information, I guess, yeah, you have something else to do, but this is important. This is Richmond County. This is 200,000 voters. This is a blue island over here that needs to be efficient. This is District 12. We need to get rid of Rick Allen. Like, we care about this passionately. We want our organization to work well. And for over a year now, our committee has not been following its own bylaws. And I'm glad you're doing something, but really, we need something in writing. That's another problem we have, honestly, with this, is nothing is in writing. You're doing everything by phone calls, and I can understand that. But when I tell people that you're doing stuff, that's all they have is third party, just me saying it's happening. And that's not, I'll be honest, that's just not, there's not a whole lot of confidence in that either. We're afraid that they're going to get to September, they're going to get to rewrite their bylaws, they're going to get to hold new elections to fill vacancies with their own people that have not been involved, and meanwhile our folks have been kicked to the curb like they did us last year. And then, so we're gonna, and that's exactly how what you're talking about is going to manifest in the way of a lot of Democrats not getting active, not getting organized, and it's.
I'm talking about what is going to manifest.
When you said that people are feeling alienated, or people are not going to get involved, or people are going to, yeah, that's that's what you had said earlier in the conversation. I'm saying that's a very real fear of all of ours that they don't want to acknowledge. Or they want to blame us for it somehow, even though it's proven that they're the ones not following the rules.
Yeah, and one thing about me, Joey, I'm about what's in black and white.
We would love some more black and white, Melva. Why can't you? I mean, I would love to be copied on some of the things that you're sending to her. I would love to talk to Matessa myself, but we're not going to get there as long as she thinks or you think that there are these factions. And it's not a faction. It's a majority of people, especially new folks, who want them to deliver on their monthly duties to our county. And it's the few folks who, yes, got those positions through some really shady ways last year to now, now coming to a place where we've forgiven them basically for that. We're like, move past, like, it doesn't matter. You got your title. Great. Move on. But now we're to a point where they're actually going to prevent people from being on the county committee just so they can make sure nobody else has to, switch lanes midway as far as their own positions, which is what it's turning into. When you have a membership clerk that can't produce membership lists for 6 months, when you have a chair who was the membership now siding with them to keep that information private, when now all of a sudden we have new guidelines on recording of the meetings, when we have minutes being produced that are showing or that are trying to paint a picture of these disruptors, when it's not even us that are doing the cussing and the walking out. That was Lowell Greenbaum. The latest person to cuss anybody out and storm out of the meeting was Lowell Greenbaum.
I got you. Let me say this, and this is all I can give you. I'm so sorry, but when I say I'm working on it and I'm handling it, I am. That's all I can tell you.
Okay, so you can tell me right now, you cannot produce anything in black and white to us to show us that you have made some contacts and you have made the statements that the things that we're asking for are appropriate, and just a statement, any statement from the state that makes it clear about those 4 items that I mentioned: elections, meetings, the membership list,
so now you're asking me for something,
and recording.
Can I do that? Yes. Before, it was as if you were asking me to send you the communication between Jablonski and Matessa. And no, I'm not going to do that. But if you're asking me that Melba can say that this is what Melba has done and will do, by all means, I can do that. Remember, I'm one of those, I focus on what I can do.
That's fine.
I say. Yeah, by all means. So you want bylaws, but yeah, that's not what I heard you to say.
No, I just want something. There were those items. There was elections, meetings, the membership list, and recording in meetings. If there was something I could produce, so it's not just Joey said, the state said X about those issues. That's what any of us could ask for.
Yeah, that I can understand. But again, for some reason, I understood you before to say, can you send me what was sent to Matessa? And no, I can't.
No, I understand. No, I'm not asking you for the copy of the exact email. I'm just asking for the statement. So, I mean, it doesn't have to prove that you addressed it to her. If it's a statement from If it's just the matter of fact information from the state, that's all I'm asking for. That would be worlds helpful for me and anyone else that has any question about whether the state is doing something or has a particular perspective on any of this stuff.